Hey guys, this is Gabe Dimmick from the Baseball Rebellion, and this is our Home Run Derby breakdown article. And we're going through and looking at each of our hitters and doing a short breakdown and a little summary of how they did. So this is my man Prince right here. He was my first pick, and he did really well, I thought, but he just got out hit a little bit by Todd Frazier there in that round. I was really surprised that Todd Frazier beat him. Prince usually dominates these things, these home run derbies. He's been in, I think, two before and been pretty successful. He had a good first round. I think he hit 13 homers. That's a pretty solid number, but Frazier got hot. I think out hit him by one. So let's look at his swing a little bit. So Prince is always up there. He always looks confident. Always look like how calm and relaxed he is when he's hitting. He never looks like he's going to be overmatched. He always looks like he's got the most confidence in the world up there. So that's one thing I really like about Prince. Now, going into his swing, Prince doesn't have the biggest move forward, but he's a big dude. So he doesn't have to move like a Jock Peterson or a Pedroia or somebody like that. But he does pick up his foot. He does get some really good things going. Okay, so I really want you to watch here. Right as his foot is landing, you're going to see his hips and his front knee get open. Okay, so you're going to see his back hip starts to turn toward the pitcher. He clears those hips. Front knee starts to get open. That kind of blocks off the front foot, so we can't really see what that's doing there. But one thing that I really want you to know is that all these guys, or most of these guys, did really well in the Derby. And it's a move that is super good, and it leads to a very high level swing here, is when the hips work open. So the pelvis works open this way, and the shoulders drop back. So the front shoulder works up, the back shoulder works down, and the hips open all at the same time. So at this point, he's able to create some separation. Not that his shoulders are totally still, but that they're actually tilting from downhill to uphill right here. You can see this move right here. These are the frames. So the shoulders go from downhill to uphill, and the hips go from closed to open. So we create separation. He allows the bat to start turning back behind him here. You watch the barrel starts to turn back behind him right there, and that's what sets the body and the barrel on playing with the pitch at the beginning. Also creates a ton of torque, ton of power. And as he goes into his turn, he's able to lean back, create some really good posture and a really good swing path. He has one of the best swing paths in the Derby, I thought, as far as getting in the way of the ball and having a nice, smooth, clean path up through it, and a nice big finish there in his turn. Okay, so something that Prince Fielder shows here. There's a few things that are commonly thought of as things that you're not supposed to do when you hit, and he's going to do all of them. So I want you to really notice that. Okay, so again, like I said, his back shoulder drops down. So a lot of you guys, if you're not familiar with our stuff, or if you've just heard a lot of common coaching cues, they'll say don't drop your back shoulder. Well, let's see what he does. Well, his back shoulder is clearly below his front shoulder, right? Back shoulder is clearly below. He's definitely dropped his back shoulder. And this is on a high pitch. This is a pitch that's at his close to his letters, and he's dropping that back shoulder, and you have to. And if you take a, don't think that it's just because it's in a home run derby. If you were to take some video of him in a game, he would do the exact same thing. He was in the All-Star game last night, played pretty well. If you take a slow mo of, or a screenshot of him at contact, that back shoulder's dropped in there. He's getting that back shoulder below the front shoulder, so that's really good. Another thing he does really well is he keeps his hands high. So most coaches teach you to drop your hands and take your hands to the ball, down and to the ball, but keep your back shoulder high. Well, he does the opposite. Like I said, his back shoulder is dropped, but his hands stay very high on his shirt. His hands are, right at those letters, okay? And then the barrel has done a nice job of coming around. So he gets a nice straight line between his barrel, his hands, and his front form. Barrel is below the ball, below his hands, coming up through the ball, and then he gets that nice, very smooth, clean path, and he just explodes through that ball, okay? There's a lot of really good things he does. Last thing I'll point out here, and this is the article I'm going to write here soon, but I want you to watch how his barrel is kind of in that lag position. A lot of people will call it. His barrel is kind of back here this way. You don't see it coming out yet. So his back hip and his barrel do a really good job of coming together. So you can see his back hip thrust out. So he pulls that back hip up and forward at the pitcher. I really want you to notice his back hip, belly button's going out at the pitcher, and the barrel is coming out at the same time. So barrel, back hip, that back hip thrust are together. They're not separate. The timing is very good here. So his body moves very powerfully up through the ball, and I think I kept this going. Yep. So we're going to see how far this ball goes. So Jock Peterson hit one that was, I think, 480 something, 487, something like that, and this was 474. So I mean, that ball is hit. That ball is going. So one thing I noticed about the Derby this year, and I'd seen Prince in the past. In the past you're able to take pitches, take your time, and so in the past Derbies, almost every swing looked like this. But in this Derby, because you had to swing at almost everything, if the pitcher wasn't throwing perfect pitches. Prince didn't look as polished every single swing, but this was, I thought, one of his best swings. He obviously hit it the farthest out of his round, and I thought that he did a really good job. So Prince, even though you didn't win it, my man, you put up a strong showing. You gave me some good things to look at and talk about on this breakdown here. So we're gonna go through some of the other ones as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.